Let's talk about wine today. Let's talk about how you can approach learning a restaurant's wine list, how you can make suggestions to a guest who asks you to recommend a glass of wine to them, and how you can sell more wine to make more money. The strategy is to have a couple of wines that you've tasted, that you know very well, and that you feel confident to recommend. And I want you to start with 4 of these pocket wines. We're going to get one from each of 4 categories: a light-bodied white, a full-bodied white, a light-bodied red, and a full-bodied red. So, first question, what is body? Body is kind of the weight of the wine on your tongue when you take a sip. And now that's kind of vague, so I think it's a little bit easier to actually show you, because the closest proxy for body is going to be the color of the wine in the glass. Let's take a look at these 2 white wines. On the left-hand side is a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc, one of the perfect light-bodied white wines. The color is pale. It is almost silvery in color. And on the right-hand side, we have a California Chardonnay, one of the most popular full-bodied white wines. And it has this much more yellow and golden tone to it. Here are some common white wine varietals ranked from fullest to lightest body. For your light-bodied pocket wine, pick one from the bottom half of the list, and for the full-bodied, pick one from the top. Looking at the red wines, we can see an even more obvious difference in color, to a point where if you look at these with text behind them, on the left-hand side we have a Pinot Noir, and you can almost read right through that wine and see the words underneath on the page. On the right-hand side we have a Cabernet, and the color is almost purple, and there's no chance that you can read the page underneath the wine. Here are some common red wine varietals, again ordered from fullest bodied to lightest bodied, so pick one near the top of the list and one near the bottom. And that's going to give you 4 great recommendations, and all you have to do for suggestions is ask 2 simple questions: white or red, and light or full. Once you've gotten comfortable with these 4 wines, I'm going to challenge you to double that to 8. And the way to do this is to learn a bit about structure. Structure refers to 4 aspects of wine. It's the alcohol, the acidity, the tannin, and the residual sugar. Now, residual sugar is the easy one. If somebody wants a sweet wine, get them their glass of Riesling, get them the glass of Moscato, and they're going to be perfectly happy. Acidity is the cause of that mouth-watering feeling when you drink wine. Think of the difference between a ripe orange and an underripe lemon, and you'll start to get that picture. Tannin is the part of wine that dries out your mouth, has that kind of gritty, astringent feeling to it. And this is the same feeling and the same component of dark chocolate and black coffee. And alcohol, of course, is the whole reason why we're drinking wine in the first place. Structure is most affected by climate. So wines from warmer climates will typically have lower acidity, higher alcohol, and very nice soft tannins. Words to describe warm climate wines are lush or buttery or jammy. And we can look for these wines from places like California, from Australia, from Argentina, and from Chile. Wines from cool climates tend to have slightly lower alcohol, slightly higher acidity, and can tend to have a little bit dustier of a feel to the tannins. Words to describe cool climate wines are things like crisp or bright or earthy. And we can look for these wines from places like France, Germany, Austria, and New Zealand. Now, for each of these 4 categories of wine, you can have a cool climate and a warm climate variation. So for full-bodied red wines, you could be ready to suggest either an Australian Shiraz or a Cabernet from France. And for a full-bodied white wine, you might suggest a Northern Italian Pinot Grigio or a California Chardonnay. When in doubt, just bring a taste, or two if you need to. Bring over two similar tastes of wine and have the guest figure out which one they like more. What I hope you take away from this is that learning a wine list is not as intimidating as you might think, and there's a simple way to break it down into a really easy structure. And if you do want to learn more about wine and the actual nuances of it, just follow this channel, because I'm going to keep coming back here with more videos to help you level up your game in serving. Thanks so much for joining. I'll see you next week.